Under old business, case number 15046. ORANMORE Enterprise LLC for variance line to construct a
ORANMORE.
4-story, 18-unit building in occurrence 143, 147. The applicant or representative here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Rob Fleming, Fleming. I represent the applicant Michael Moore concerning his proposed 4-story, 18 residential condominium proposal here at 143 to 147 Newbury Avenue. The existing site is 2 parcels outlined here. Both parcels are improved with single-family residences. Both parcels comprise approximately 27,000 square feet. Important to note, the parcels are adjacent to the proposed expansion, North Quincy High School expansion. What will it be? It'll be behind our property here is the proposed parking for the most part. A little bit of grass area too, but parking right behind it. So, roughly that square parcel in the back here is under agreement. My client has an under agreement with the city of Quincy to purchase. So it was a 27,000 square foot lot. What my client is proposing to build on is a little over 16,000 square feet. Again, it's a 4-story building. 3 stories are those residences, 6 units on each floor. There's 15 2 bedrooms and 3 1-bedrooms. There's parking underneath the building that will accommodate 31 parking spaces, and then we have 2 visitor spaces at the end of the drive into the site. I will point out that the parking that's proposed underneath the building, 26 of the 31 are stacked parking, something that we haven't seen in the city of Quincy, where the cars park above each other. My client's familiar with it. He's done it in other projects that he's done in the city, mainly in real metropolitan, Boston, New York City areas. Yes, you drive and then the car lifts up. This particular property is about a 1/4 mile from the North Quincy T station. It is a transit-oriented proposal. I know you've heard that term before. You know, there was
using it. Why not?
And you've heard it again. As the board knows, there was a big study, kind of a partnership between the city of Quincy and the Commonwealth to do a study of the Wollaston area with respect to near the Wollaston T station. And this type of housing, and again, this is a Residence B zoning district where this property is, which allows for multifamily residence. This type of residential is what these areas really need. So although my client is fully confident that most of these residents will be using public transportation, he's providing the 33 spaces for marketability purposes. You know, there are 2 bedrooms with these more than enough spaces purely for marketability of these units. So these are going to be probably $400,000 or $500,000 units when they're completed. We have appeared and have gone through site plan review before the planning board as well, with a decision we're hoping we'll issue in October. My client will be subject to affordable housing as well. We have 18 units, so 2 of these units will be designated for affordable, or there's obviously a cash and lieu payment. My client has not decided on that as of yet. I know the Reverend and the Commission would love to have units, so we're gonna meet with them as well. With me this evening, we have our architect, who's Brian Donahue. You all have met Brian before. He's been before this board many times. The engineer is Eric Bradnisi from Engineering Alliance. This has gone on. I've been with Michael and Pat, the 2 owners of this property, going over 2 years. It's been a long process. We've been working. Eric's been, working with the city of Quincy, the engineers for the city of Quincy on the expansion, understanding exactly what they're doing there. Over the years, there's been, it's been wet there on the field and things of that nature. This, and Eric will speak on this specifically before the board tonight. Drainage, this is gonna be a self-sustaining site and development. We're not using anything the city's doing to handle their drainage issues. This is gonna be a property that's gonna have obviously improved drainage, stormwater, which today there's none for these two single-family houses. What else? So I think I'll pass it on to Eric Bradnisi, who's our engineer, so we can talk about that among some other things as well. I heard the board talk about, meeting with the neighbors as well. We met with Councilor McNamee on 2 occasions for neighborhood meetings, one in December. There was a showing of about 6 residents. We met with them most recently again in September. At the initial neighborhood meeting, Councilor McNamee expressed some concern with the height of the building. My client and his partner reviewed it. They took an entire story off the building and 2 less units. So the original proposal was 5 stories with 20 units. So my client did remove an entire story. So again, we did meet September 3rd as well. 500-foot of butters notice went out to neighbors. We had 1 neighbor that appeared at that neighborhood meeting. So again, there's been thorough review by planning board. We had a full traffic study that was required for planning as well. And that's all been addressed, and any peer review comments have been responded to.
What was the traffic study, what did it say? No big deal.
It's not really. I mean, the perception by most is that some of these will cause all sorts of traffic jams. An 18 unit, that just doesn't happen. There's obviously concerns at different intersections, but nothing this proposal will exacerbate.
So you can take a right coming out, or, so when you're coming out, you come up to the high school?
You can,
Okay.
yes. Any questions for me specifically, or if not, I'll have Eric
I
speak.
have a lot for you.
I'm sure you do.
I don't want to.
I thought you were gonna save me the end.
Save you in the end. We're gonna earn you money.
All right, without further ado, Eric Bradnese.
Thanks,
John.
Council.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you very much. So as Rob had stated, there's a basic location of the building here, you can see what's going on. The high school improvements start up here on Hunt Street, this little particular part of the lot that Michael has sold, and then this entire field here. North Quincy High School is here, East Quantum Street, just a little bit of an overview to see where we're at. But still, access to the building is from Newbury Avenue, will come down the driveway into as Rob had referred to, the 31 space garage. There are 2 outdoor spaces that are located right next to the building here, with a little bit of snow storage area located in the back. There will be an ADA accessible walkway in the front of the building. We do have dumpster locations located in the building as well. There will be, like as Rob stated, 26 of the 31 parking spaces inside the garage will be the stackable spaces you can see on the board right next to there.
Sir, I'm gonna ask you to explain that to me.
Okay. So basically, there will be, it's a mechanical lift, and there are some limitations on the parking. I think the garage height is it's 11 feet. 11 feet 6 inches. So, someone's not going to be able to bring in a car that's got some, a much larger scale car. It'll be more not a compact car, but a sedan type style car. But it takes about 3 to 5 minutes for the lift to go up and down, and it doesn't take. There's not much noise accommodated with it. Michael, our client, has done this in a couple of different projects in the Boston area, and he said he's had fantastic success with it. Again, it's a small humming sound in the building.
I drive in.
Yep.
I drive up on this thing.
Yep.
I get out of the car.
Yep.
I push a button
And it lifts it up,
and it lifts it up.
and then someone else will park it.
Wait, parks underneath, and then she pulls out and you come down. So you gotta move her car in the morning.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
It
I've
just,
seen this in commercial garages and commercial lots where it's under the control of the person pressing the button.
Correct.
The attendant. So, you gonna say, Council?
yeah, I just wanted to point out with respect to that, frontage is on Newbury Street. And you don't see that, you don't see the garage component because of the slope of the lot. Pretty well insulated. On this side here, a lot of vegetation, it's still a lot underground. This is the only real exposed, and this is the North Quincy parking lot area. And even that you don't see as much. And this is the driveway side here. No houses. This is where the city's, and you might touch on
That's
that.
right.
The detention area for their drainage will be on that side of the lot.
Yep, and then there's single families abutting to the left side here.
That's the one I'm gonna keep being a dead horse here. I got my Ford 350 pickup truck, right?
Next word.
That, yeah.
And, how would I know that? I mean, for example, I wanna go and I wanna rent the car. And are we gonna find out and tell people, oh, by the way, you can't have a big truck?
No, these are condominiums for sale.
Condominium,
Yeah,
correct?
so certainly that's gonna be a disclosure at the time of sale that this is what your parking is,
Yeah,
and this is what it can accommodate. So you're not, if you have a large
Yeah,
SUV.
350, get on a 150 and you get it.
Exactly, right.
no, I guess what I'm seeing is that all of the bigger vehicles that can't get in there, I'd rather be on the street, right? I mean, because what else could they know?
We are actually, all street parking in front of the building is gonna be eliminated. We've actually worked with the fire department. That will be emergency access for the building from the front. So there'll be no street parking in front of this building. It'll actually help the traffic impact on Newbury Avenue as well.
People buying condos aren't gonna be driving.
Yeah.
40 miles a gallon.
Oh,
I only need beer. You know that? Can you? No. Yeah, that's too regular. Anyways.
If I may point out on the parking, okay?
Yes.
Today,
Oh, yeah.
there's a parking issue down in this particular area where cars are parked all over
So
the place,
fine.
including over here, parked here. This whole area here is now gonna be that parking. This is likely mostly students and faculty
Right.
that are parking all over the place.
Yeah.
So this is all removed and here now.
Correct.
Let me ask one last question about this and I'll let it go.
That's
Right behind the building
Yes.
is the parking lot for the high school.
Correct.
Another new parking lot for the high school. Do we envision the 350s being parked in that?
Where would you park?
I park in there. Especially during the night.
Yeah, I don't know what the restrictions,
I mean, I'm not-
I don't know what the restrictions will be.
Yeah, okay, I know.
At night, but certainly it's better than having cars parked all over the
Yeah.
area as well. Will vehicles utilize this? They may, but the schools may restrict it, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
But, and as Rob alluded to, and I'll get to as well, this particular area where you can see cars parked here is not going to exist any longer. There'll be a big, as part of the city's improvements, there's a big storm drain area in that, so that parking will be eliminated as well. There's actually no access to the parking for the city from Newbury Avenue. All the access is from Pond Street.
Do you really have a 350?
No.
I have a 150, you're an attorney, and they make fun of me for having a pickup truck.
I'm from the Bronx, we didn't have trucks.
But he has a dream.
We still have cars.
He wants that 350 with Firestone tires.
Well, so also as Rob had alluded to, the site will be completely self-sufficient for stormwater management. We have two systems that will handle the entire building footprint. They are Caltech systems. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but they're basically big plastic chambers that are subsurface that are surrounded in crushed stone. There'll be an interior roof drain that drains right into it, so the flat roof will have all the water pitched to the drains and it'll go right into that system.
How many gallons of those each?
I don't know off the top of my head. I do know.
The engineer that did that, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank
It's based on a pre and post development model, so I can tell you that the post development models for the storms that we had modeled are all for all large scale storms. It handles it completely self-sufficient. There won't be anything that drains off into the city
Should
system.
do it for last year. Do it for last year.
Yes. Well, it's just so you're aware as well. We also you take into account in that particular calculation the type of soils you have, not to get too into it, but we use a very conservative rate as well. So just to make sure that we can handle a very large scale storm and have the water hold and also drain back into the ground as well. And then for the driveway area, we have a pervious paver driveway. Basically, it is pavers that has 13 inches of stone beneath, and the stormwater infiltrates directly in from the pavers underneath. There's little areas between the stone, between the pavers at grade that drain down into the stone, and it infiltrates back in. That promotes groundwater recharge. Maintenance for all these systems will be part of the condo association. So when the condo association is formed on the building, all maintenance will be handled by that. There'll be some money set aside from the start with the condo association. I think in a yearly amount that'll be put into it as well for standard maintenance for all these. But there's not a lot of maintenance that goes into this. There'll be some vacuuming on the pavers, and then I think it's like yearly inspections on the subsurface chambers. The building's equipped with a 4-inch sprinkler service and a standard 6-inch water service. Backwards, a 6-inch fire service and a 4-inch standard water service. And then we also have a sewer service with some floor drains in the garage that'll drain out to cross-country sewer that comes through the site. We also had a landscape architect take a look at the plan as well, and I also met with Chris Casani in order to work out with the tree ordinance for the city. He had suggested that we put some pine trees in the back that will buffer the driveway here from the big parking area in the back, along with putting them along the side of the building to buffer the residential units. And then we've got some small trees in the front and some small shrubs and plants, but all plants that are in the vicinity of the driveway will all be less than 2 feet, so there'll be no any site issues pulling in and out of the driveway. In regards to landscape. Oh, sorry, there was, the last item in regards to landscaping too was, you can see there's I've got the proposed subsurface infiltration areas in here. There was some concern with the DPW asking in regards to, will some of these plants have issues since they're showed so close. They're all shallow, very shallow rooted systems, so there'll be no issues in regards to the drainage systems down there. And,
So you got 4 tanks on this one side and 4 on the other side?
they are, so,
4 by 4, I think it was, 4 by...
yeah, we updated it so that it's,
You got 16 on, right.
correct. So what happens is so the ones to the right side of the building here, they're 2.5 feet tall by about 3 feet wide, and that's what each chamber is, and they're about 7.5 feet long, and they connect to each other. They sit on top of each other and connect. The separate units over here, these are smaller units based on where we had some groundwater elevation. We had to use some smaller units to keep separation there. These ones are about 18 inches in height, and they're 2 feet wide, but you can see there's a couple more chambers for the smaller units here as well. And based on the locations, the building foundation will actually be waterproofed as well, with like a bentonite clay type material that'll make sure that the foundation will be completely clear of any water that will drain from there. And I think Brian will speak about the actual building at this point.
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Brian Donahue, architect, 21 McGrath Highway in Quincy. I've been working with the applicant for some time now on this project, and I'll just go over, I'll be brief as I can possibly be, and go over the basic layout articulation of the fenestration and what this proposal will be looking like. We've already broached on the garage and the height of the garage with the stacked parking. This particular drawing shows the extent of the garage, which has the parking, and because of the topography, Newbury Street being out here, Newbury Ave, it's basically 3 sides of it are below grade, and where the topography goes back, the opening for the drive is here facing the city's, the high school water retention system, and this part of the building is facing the parking lot. It's a very simple plan. It's about 112 by 65 to accommodate parking and the traffic underneath. So as Rob stated, there are 18 units, 6 per floor. 5 of those units have 2 bedrooms, and 1 each floor has 1 bedroom. It's a basic double-loaded corridor entry from Newbury by stair and by a graded walkway into the building, elevator, lobby. I won't bore you with the details of the layout. And that is typical for 3 floors. although the proposal states it's a four-story building, I think from the most sensitive part of the context, it's really 3 stories, because on the entry side and where the residence is, the only abutting residence on this southern side of our property, it's basically 3 stories, 34.5 feet. So that's basically the height of a single-family house. Obviously, when the grade goes down and you get around the back, it expands to more or less a 4-story building. So as you approach it, it's 3 stories. At the highest point, on the high side of the property, it's 34.5 feet. It's 44, another 10 feet, so it's 44 feet down here. We're using typical residential type vernacular materials, hardy plank siding, double hung windows, trimmed out, a brick base, and then some smooth panels up top to take away the monotony of the scale. We also have bay windows around the building and strategic spots within the units to let more light in, to give it a little more of a residential articulation. This is a view coming down Newbury Ave, this is a view coming up, so you see other driveways down, and then you enter the garage here. So there'll be lighting in the garage, there'll be lighting at the entryway, and lighting at the doors into the garage. There won't be any site lighting. As a matter of fact, probably the lighting from the ball field will be brighter than anything that we'll be giving off for this building. So the center here is a little bit taller because that's where our stair goes up to a flat roof with mechanical units which will be held hidden behind parapets, and the elevator penthouse and the stairs go up to the roof as well. So that's really it in a nutshell. Elevation, so that gives you a look at all 4 sides. Here's Newbury. That shows basically the topography, how it goes down and then into the garage. The residential side where that house is, the back facing the parking lot and the ball field, and the entry on the low side, the entry into the garage. So I'd be happy to answer any questions about the architecture. I think we went over.
So the only brick you have is on the bottom and the walkways up?
Yes. The bottom section, and it turns the corner down.
Rest of it's hardy plank?
Pardon?
Hardy plank?
Hardy plank and hardy composite smooth panels up on the top with reglets. And
What are they made out of?
it's the same composite material as hardy plank. It's
Okay.
cementitious.
All right. Any questions? No? Thank you. Counselor, you're up. Could you tell me where else you've used, or have you ever used that parking system? Your client, has he used that parking system anywhere else?
My client has used it, I think he's developed in the Boston area, metro area, and has used it there. Pretty familiar with it. Mr. Geary from planning as well had a lot of questions with respect to that stack parking, as far as noise levels and things of that nature. And we had provided information to the board. Again, very low decibels when it's in motion. And again, it's very insulated down there, as you can see from the design.
But there's a single-family home on the left side here.
There is, yep, there is.
So,
There is.
my thing is.
But on that
where
side,
is-
it's.
I'm just saying, where is it used? Is there a place I can see that, or the board can go see this and see how this thing works, and it's not going plunk, 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 plunk?
Yeah, my understanding, and I've never used it myself, but it's a slight humming noise when the rack is going up.
It's all electric,
It's all electric, yes.
no hydraulic.
Nope.
But you can't think of any place around here.
Your client has used it? And where have you used it?
He's used it in South Boston in a couple of locations. He's now renovating the Gate of Heaven Church in South Boston.
Gate of Heaven?
I believe
And he's using it there?
I believe he's using it.
Is it operating right
It's
now?
under construction, but there,
I don't know if it's up
I wish Michael was here, but he could tell you exactly where he's used it. He's used it a couple of times in the city.
Michael got called away on a family emergency, so he couldn't,
No,
he
that's
would be
fine.
here this evening.
Do you know where else beside the Gate of Heaven in South you use it?
I do not.
Okay. I mean, I just wanna see these things work. I think we all should listen to these things work. It's stack parking, I mean, they wanted to use it down in, or they did use some of them down in 100 Empire, right? Parking in the back of the garage, that was, 10 or 12 years.
What the name of the parking system is? The name of the lift or the manufacturer?
That's fine. But it was different, you could park anything.
Just like to reiterate,
14 foot.
this is all.
It's only got 11 feet, right?
I do have, I have some specifications for the parking.
Now, it's 11 feet, you're saying, right?
11 and a half feet, correct.
11 and a half?
Unfortunately, I only have one copy of this, but there's some specifications for the parking. It's, all sorts of materials and install and
And, Mr. Chairman, as Donahue pointed out, you were concerned about this side where where the residences were.
Right.
And so this is what they will see, you know,
Right.
so pretty well
So it's
buried.
another buffer for noise, noise can't really get through there.
Right.
Correct.
They show an SUV here, guys. On the bottom.
It wasn't 3 foot.
Keep dreaming.
So, not to get off that point, but the relief we're seeking, this is the 2 single-family residences non-conforming. So we are seeking a finding, because this is an entirely new use to this lot. And also a number of dimensional, variances that we're seeking.
Any far, any dimensions, right?
Council, you just want to give us a little list of those variances you'll.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
What was 90, or just state them.
So with respect to the variances for dimensional, we are seeking FAR, minimum lot per dwelling, side and rear, one side, and rear yard setback, minimum lot, green area, open space for per dwelling, and the building heights. So it is unfortunately considered 4, but much of the surrounding is 3, but average grade, we're at the 4. So 3 is permitted, in the residence fee.
Any other question, the applicant?
I don't have any.
Thanks. Thank you. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in favor? First call, second call, third call closed. Have your file?
That was it.
I didn't see it. Hey, there it is. I got a letter here from the DPW. Holy God. Wait an hour.
Put that in the record.
No, I gotta read it. We reviewed this middle buffer reference project. Our comments are as follows. Drainage. The current FEMA flood map dated June 9, 2014 indicates the proposed development is in a flood zone area. Filing with the Quincy Conservation Commission is required. The floodplain elevation should be shown as existing conditions and proposed conditions. FEMA has provided a set of proposed flood maps for 215 City of Quincy. However, the proposed maps are not yet approved yet. Therefore, we will use the current flood maps of 2014 for review. Number 2, provide calculations to show the volume necessary storage is equal to and exceeds the storage volume lost by the elevation. 3, is there any soil test at the proposed locations for drainage structures, determine soil properties and level of water table? 4, what size pipe connected to the infiltration system? 5, an inspection port should be installed in each of the filtration chambers. 6, the maintenance plan for the drainage system should include the following: estimated operation and maintenance budget. Maintenance of infiltration system should follow manufacturer's recommendations. Snow management, operation management log form, records of inspections and maintenance shall be up to date and available for review inspection as requested by the city official. Number 7, the maintenance plan shall be recorded in Norfolk Norfolk County Registry of Deeds, a proposed infiltration system violates the setback requirement for the property line and building foundation. In addition, no shrubs or trees are allowed on top of the infiltration system. 9, submit calculations to show how the proposed infiltration system structures have been sized to infiltrate the required recharge volume and will drain in 72 hours. 10, provide documents on how the previous paver can get 80% TSS removal rate and provide a detailed maintenance plan for the paver. 11, provide details of the street sweeping in order to get 10% TSS removal rate. 12, indicate the size, material, and slope of the proposed drain pipe. 13, explain how the disposal of runoff on a two-surface parking area. Water. Number 1, perform water test flow for the city's water department. 2, install a curb stop valve box on the sidewalk, domestic and fire service. 3, cut and cap existing water service at the connection where the mains are at Newbury Street. 4, provide calculations to show the proposed 2-inch water service is adequate for 18 units. Sewer, install a cleanout for the sewer service pipe. The proposed cleanout for the sewer pipe should have 22-degree elbows, 145-degree elbow. Details can be obtained from the city sewer department. 2, install a manhole with an inside drop hole for the sewer connections to 10-inch sewer main. In addition, to connect the drain pipe from the gas trap and the new manhole. Number 3, cut and cap existing sewer service at the connection with the mains on Newbury Street. 4, what is the slope of the material on the existing 10-inch sewer main? Submit sewer calculations showing the proposed flow and existing capacity of the sewer system. Also check the integrity of the existing sewer system in TV inspection in the existing system from the connection point to Newbury Ave. Miscellaneous. The developer proposes to put all the required landscape facilities and utilities together in a limited space for this project. As a result, the proposed trees and shrubs are either on top of the drainage structures or right next to the utility pipes, gas, sewer, and water. These tight arrangements will inevitably damage the utility facilities when the trees and shrubs grow up several years later, and some of them become health issues as may fall. 2, install survey monuments to delineate the public right-of-way. The monument shall be set by a professional land surveyor. 3, will there be any berm or curb on the driveway? 4, provide details for the erosion sedimentation control during construction. 5, is there any guardrail or fence on the proposed property? 6, change the proposed bit driveway to the previous paver driveway in Plan C2. 7, provide grades for the driveway entrance. 8, repair all utility trenches in public right-of-way with controlled density fill and infrared. 9, parking spaces shall be 9 by 18 minimum. 10, provide dimensions on the ramp, the platform, and install railing on the steps of the platform. 11, the existing conditions plan was done almost 10 years ago. Wow. An updated plan signed and stamped by a licensed surveyor should be submitted for review. 12, upon completion of this project, as-built showing all utilities, building footprints, reference bounds, benchmarks, define the total site facilities right away needs to be submitted along with a digital file.
Good job.
Just, if I may comment, Mr. Chairman.
No, you may not, but go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That letter we had received back in June. So all of those items have been addressed, with the exception of the video of the existing sewer. There's some soil tests to be done, but where they want to test it is where the house stands today. So that's going to be a condition that we have to do soil tests once the house is demolished.
What I'm looking at is shrubs on top
Yeah.
right now too, so I don't know if they've been dealt with.
That's been addressed as well. And third matter is just the FEMA flood maps, which we have to deal with, you know, and obviously we won't be able to pull permits unless we comply with those maps.
Thanks, Council.
Okay, thanks.
Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Opposed or undecided? First call, second call, third call gone. You know, this whole thing's good and all that. To me, it's density. I can live with that building. I don't like the parking at all. And if that's the way they're gonna have it, I personally would not approve this without listening and watching a system that works. This could be the worst thing you've ever approved in your life. It starts going clank, 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 clank for safety as they clank in, like when you go have your oil change and the guy that's up here, clank, 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 clank. Can you imagine like 18 of those going on at night? No, I can't even. And is it safe and what kind of system? You can read what you want. I think, guys, really, let's take a ride to a place that has the system and watch it work and see how noisy it is. And there's a lot of other issues here that I think you better filtrate for the next few weeks before you approve this. I think that building's huge. It's density plus. You get 2 homes, and all of a sudden you got 18 units, stacked parking. Really? I think it's something we should really think about. I think something we should put off for a few weeks, a month, filter what we're thinking of, and now that we got all that information, start looking at parking, what they're gonna do, see what the building's made out of, I mean, is there something, and he's saying what the planning did that, that's okay. You have the right to approve this or not. And the density of that, right beside what else is there. And everything else, on Hunt Street and everything else. To me, they're asking for a lot. They're asking for a lot. Are they gonna put a lot of money in the city? No question. They're gonna have a nice place? No question. Do they do nice work? Yeah, they do. Council does great work. He works with good clients. But I think it's something we should just roll back a little bit, figure this out, see if this is what, I mean, I went up there, I looked at it, 2 houses, I go, this is like way overboard. And then I started seeing the project and listening to them, what they're gonna do in the infiltration system. You spent a lot of money there to help put that on site, which is huge. But at the same point, I think that parking, you get 18-unit building. Parking's real important. I think you better realize what kind of system we have here before we go approving anything. Myself, I wouldn't vote on it tonight, but that's just personally, I could be out 4-1, that's fine. I think we should sit back and take another look at this project and see if this is what we want in our city, and not maybe we're buying all them homes, ripping them down, and putting in a new field, and that's just me. That's just me.
May I say a couple words?
No, you may not, Council. We're in deliberations on that. So,
I understand the concern
Counselor,
with the.
Counselor, you're out of order. You're out of order. We're in deliberations right now.
Well, I should have an opportunity to
No, you
respond
don't.
to your
You
concerns.
had all the opportunity. I let you
Well,
speak,
mean,
I let you speak, and I
well,
let you speak.
New concerns are coming up, and I'd like to be able
New
to
concerns
address
will
them.
come up, and we'll tell you what we think when we're done, not when you're done. Thank you. So, that's just me. I'm one vote. Just think of it. It's a nice project. Stack parking. I don't. Personally, I don't like it, but it could work. Could work very well. In Tobai, they get these buildings. They bring your car right up to your apartment. They go, really? Goes right up, the elevator. 80th floor, boom, car's right there. Push a button, you get in your car, you drive in, you're down the ground. Awesome. But I don't think we're spending that kind of money, but, you know what I mean? I mean, that's the future. It's like where we're gonna park. That's just me, that's just my 2 cents, but you guys you've thought about it, you've seen the project, you've been there. I don't know. It's an awful lot between fire and this and that, and, you know, it's density. I mean, that's what big cities are, density, they are. And it's on the edge, so on the edge, really. everyone going over the bridge is right there, they can give and get. I don't know nothing about that system of parking, that scares the hell out of me, to tell you the truth.
Counselor, can you find a place for us to go on a field trip to see this system operating in Boston?
Absolutely, and we're certainly agreeable to a continuance for a couple of weeks, so the board can view that
Yeah.
in person. You know, my concern is, and there's no pressure on the board, certainly, you know, and I don't intend that to be the case. It's important, it's been 2.5 years, and this is really coordinated with the city of Quincy's expansion of the campus. So with respect to construction, we're trying to coordinate that. And I have to try to prevent as much delay as possible in doing that. But I wouldn't object to, if that's a concern of the board, to view that apparatus on how that functions. Now, it's gonna be probably different in different environments, you know, but if we could find, you know,
One that's somewhat close.
So all we need is that system, doesn't matter what environment it is, when you stand beside it.
Well, there might be different heights and all that.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, 2 stories, it's got 2 cars.
We just call these guys.
Yeah, that's all. We'll do that, we'll figure it out. I'm a big guy, I can figure out where that place is, I can drive to Connecticut, well.
Well, we wanna make the council do some work.
Yeah, and so I understand that concern, and, because it's new to our city
Right.
here, and to have an opportunity to check it out, I totally understand.
Because when I
Yeah.
think about, New York City, I think about places that have small cars. In an urban area, you have small cars. You don't have that 350 in, you know, in
Right.
Southie right now. But, you know,
You know,
we're
and
not that.
if I may touch on density, you know, this is almost 900 square feet per unit. There have been recent approvals by the board for more units on less land area, you know, in similar locations near the Quincy T.
What do you mean by that, Council?
We have a 40 unit that was approved,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on a 17,000 square foot lot,
Yeah, that's true.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
And
you talk about
I
density.
also had
You
three,
talk about density.
2.5, almost 2 stories underground, most of them, come on. It's
Well,
not
we
the same.
have parking.
Ah, come on, it's not the same. I'm talking
It
apples.
is, it's the same density.
It's apples
It's
and
more
oranges, please.
dense, that's about 500 square foot.
Thank you,
square feet
Council.
per unit.
Thank you, Council. Yeah, Rob.
Let me say what, I would go for a 2-week continuance to see to get more information. Even if Mr. Duke could hear some more information if we can't. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that would be wise rather than voting with uncertainty. I'm a bit, it's a fantastic looking building. I wish the high school looked like that. That's kind of what it looked like when it came up. Very different for that area. A big step away from small city Quincy. We're kind of going that way, but that's an awful big building in that spot. I'm astounded that the traffic analysis didn't think there was a problem, because that square right there is just an absolute disaster. Trying to get through in the morning, it's a mess. Go to just drive down by the mayor's house every morning going to school. But it is what it is. Density and size all plays into that, but it's well thought out, well put together. Seems to have covered most of the big issues. Think about it. I mean, I've seen these parking things in Manhattan all the time. I'm not so concerned about the noise. I'm concerned about the operators, because, you know, you get at the assembly wants to bring his car home, and next thing you know, but that's not really our problem.
Well, yeah, I mean, we
It's
could
a
come up with
concern.
hypotheticals all night. I will
Yeah.
say, when the units are sold, and if the units that they're selling include that parking, you know, there's gonna be
you can
information with
speak
respect to those
Yeah.
conveyed to those
You
buyers.
understand my point.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think a couple weeks would be a good idea.
I agree.
Real, you all set?
I agree with the extension
Franco?
of 2 weeks.
Yes.
For the board to, you know, pass judgment on that kind of system, which is new, we would be setting a precedent for the rest of the city. I think we could use the additional time to really research it, make sure we're comfortable with it, make sure we think it's compliant and safe for future use, not just your use.
I'm in agreement with the board members. I'm unfamiliar with it, never seen one, never used one. I need to be familiar with it. I need to see it work. I need to That would help my decision, it really would, fair enough.
And, 29's booked up, September, so. In October, the only one's the 20th, we only got one meeting.
Yes, because there's a primary.
All right. Got a motion for October 20th, please.
Mr. Chairman, amendment number 15-049, ORANMORE Enterprises LLC for a variance finding to construct a new four-story 18-unit residential building on the premises numbered 143, 147 Newbury Avenue, Quincy, and make a motion to continue the hearing until October 20th.
A second?
Second.
On the motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thanks, council.
Did you give me everybody opposing this?
I think that